It's the second round of the 2021 Texas High School football playoffs, and if it's anything like the first, buckle up. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to the Texas High School football playoffs. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, the first round of the 2021 Texas High School football playoffs have come and gone, and yeah, there's a consensus that was the wildest opening week of the playoffs that we've seen in modern Texas high school football history. Upsets everywhere, chaos all around, brackets left in tatters. What more do you want from Texas high school football? And if that's the start, I can't wait to see what we've got the rest of the way, including a mammoth week in the area round with huge cross-regional matchups and games that are going to decide who will win the state championship. We start in Lufkin. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Abe Martin Stadium in Lufkin. It is a 5A Division II area round matchup between the Texas High Tigers and the Texas City Stingarees. Quick side note, I think this is the first time in Texas high school football UIL history that two teams with the word Texas in their name are playing one another. And they're both orange. I don't know, a lot of weird things in this game. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, the Stingarees super sophomores. This is a Texas City team that wants to run the ball, and they do it with a pair of sophomores in Caleb Bell and Ricky Green. They have been fantastic, combining for more than 1,700 yards and 25 touchdowns on the ground. Now, they can throw the ball a bit too. Their quarterback, Jacob Duran, very capable, but they are a team that needs to establish the run. That's going to be tough this week against Texas High because their front seven, led by Derek Brown, is absolutely ferocious. So, can this Stingarees sophomore tandem get something going on the ground, or will the Tigers shut them down? Key number two, the Tigers' second half stranglehold. This is an undefeated Texas High team, and they have absolutely stood on the gas pedal in the second half. They have outscored their opponents 168-24 in the second half this year. Yeah, serious business. When they get a lead, they do not give it up, and they run away from you. Part of it is their outstanding defense, which we mentioned, but I also think a lot of it is their running back, Braylon Stewart. This guy is a closer, okay? This is the guy that you hand the ball and say, bring us home, big fella, and he gets stronger as the game goes on. Their quarterback, Brayson McHenry, has been good as well, but I think Braylon Stewart is really the straw that stirs the drink. So, for Texas City, they got to keep this thing close and keep away from that second half wave from the Tigers. Can they do that, or will the Tigers' second half dominance continue? And key number three, no respect. These two teams are combined 20-1 on the season. They've been fantastic. By any measure, they have been outstanding all year long, and yet maybe this is the first time you're hearing about them, right? And I think, literally, this has to do with geography, okay? Because they are in two kind of far-flung corners of the state. Texas High, up there in Texarkana, way northeast Texas, right? For Texas City, they're down near Galveston, way down southeast Texas, outside of Houston, but really kind of outside of that greater media market. And so these are two of the most unheralded, I think unrespected, great teams in Texas high school football. One of those teams gets to earn a lot of respect this week by advancing to the regional semifinals. They can be ignored no more, okay? So, who will take this opportunity to grab that respect they so greatly deserve? Who am I picking? I'm going with Texas High. I think the Tigers get the nod here because of the strength of that defense. I think they're going to be able to hold this Texas City running game in check and really make them work for it. I think this needs to be a big game for Jacob Duran, the quarterback for Texas City, if the Stingarees are going to get the win. Furthermore, that second half stat that I mentioned, I think it's so telling about the way that Coach Jerry Stanford makes adjustments and turns the ball over to his big fella in Braylon Stewart to bring them home. I think Texas High's got a little bit more balance. I think that's going to lead them to a victory. Give me the Tigers. 7:30 p.m. Saturday night at Arlington's Globe Life Field is a 6A Division I area-round matchup between the Southlake Carroll Dragons and the Midland Legacy Rebels. And here comes Legacy carrying the flag for West Texas, coming to the Metroplex with an opportunity to take the biggest prize of them all and to knock off the Southlake Carroll Dragons, the highest-ranked team in the DFW Metroplex at the 6A level. And there's ample reason to believe they can do that. Okay, we've been talking about them since they were at 7-on-7 this summer, that this team looks like a metro area team. Okay, this is a different West Texas ball club. Legacy is loaded with playmakers like McKalen Young, the big-time running back, as well as the sophomore quarterback Marcos Davila, who I think is really playing beyond his years. He has been exceptional. The onus for Legacy is on the defense, where they've got to come up with stops against Caden Anderson, Owen Allen, and this fantastic Dragons attack. But also, the Dragons defense has been something special, okay? I think this is an opportunity for Legacy to make a statement, but I do think the Dragons are a little bit too much. Give me Southlake Carroll. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Bulldog Stadium in Yoakum. It's a 4A Division I area round matchup between the Austin LBJ Jaguars and the Port Lavaca Calhoun Sand Crabs. LBJ, the number 1 team in 4A Division I, looked every bit the part of that. Quarterback Oscar Gordon III has been fantastic. They run the ball extremely well with Cedric Alexander, and the defense really starting to heat up as the season has worn on. But this is a really interesting test. You get down to 4A Division I Region 4, and you've got a variety of different kind of off-the-beaten-path offenses, and perhaps no more off-the-beaten-path offense than what LBJ is going to face in Calhoun. That double-slot offense, I don't know if anybody else in the state runs it, or at least runs it quite like Richard Whitaker's Sand Crabs squad does. Esteban Cruz is the tip of the spear for this offense, but they give the ball to a lot of different guys. And this is a big challenge for this LBJ defense, which I don't believe have ever faced this style of offense, which is going to be a big challenge for Jamal Finner and company. A lot of this comes down to literally whether or not LBJ's defense can find a way to slow down this attack. I think the offense is going to be able to score, but can that defense find a way to kind of decode the riddle that is the Calhoun double slot offense? I think this game has a chance to really be a lot of fun, but I'm going with the number 1 team in the state. Give me LBJ. 7 o'clock Friday night at Yellow Jacket Stadium in Boyd. It is a 3A Division II area round matchup between the Eastland Mavericks and the Bells Panthers. You know, for Eastland, this was a team that we wondered what they were going to look like without Baron Morton, who's now off at Texas Tech. They've kind of replaced him with a couple of quarterbacks, running a bit of a 2-quarterback system here with Keaton Hicks and Cooper Wright. Hicks gets the majority of the snaps, but they will rotate both of them in. The defense has a bit of bend, don't break to them, led by their linebacker, Judson Beard. They're going up against this Bells slot T attack, and it is about the Baker boys. Bo Baker and Brock Baker have been fantastic, and that is going to lead the way for them the rest of the way. You know, both these defenses, I think, can get beat, and so a lot of this comes down to who steps up in crunch time, right? Who is able to come up with those big defensive stops. I think this game is going to be really close and a lot of fun, but I do think the Bells gets a narrow win. 7:30 p.m. Thursday night at Wolf Stadium in Colorado City. It is a 2A Division I area round matchup between the Forsan Buffaloes and the New Deal Lions. In a wide-open 2A Division I Region 1, here are 2 contenders meeting in the second round. You know, for New Deal, boy, that offense is starting to really take flight. Quarterback Harley Patterson's been great. Larrick Eaton is a name we've known and now is starting to emerge as a bona fide stud in the 2A ranks. This is going to be really interesting. Going up against this Forsan team that struggled last week against Goldthwaite. Goldthwaite did a really good job of keeping the ball away from them, but in the end, Major Stockton, the quarterback, was able to make enough plays down the stretch to get the win. What I think is so interesting is that for Forsan, I think they got to do what Goldthwaite did to them last week, which is keep the ball away from New Deal, run a lot of clock, limit the number of possessions for this explosive Lions attack. That said, I think that New Deal's defense is able to make a couple stops, and I think Harley Patterson has a big game. Give me New Deal to move on to the regional semifinals. And 6:30 p.m. Thursday night in Dublin. It's a 1A Division I area round matchup, regional semifinal matchup. I don't know, it's a second round between the May Tigers and the Jonesboro Eagles. Guys, this is number 1 versus number 2 in 1A Division I. Okay? This is serious business and will go a long way towards shaping who plays at AT&T Stadium in the middle of December. May, of course, is the reigning state runner-up. They have been wire-to-wire number 1 in our rankings in 1A Division I. It's easy to see why. They've got Caden Hulk back, and their defense has been spectacular. Going up against this Jonesboro team that I think is a bit of a surprise. We thought they'd be good, but maybe not this good. But Eddie Gallegos' defense has stood up to the test, and they have found something special in their spread-back Caleb Crystal. I think this game, ultimately, like most big-time 6-man showdowns, comes down to defense. That's where I think May has a very slight edge. I think this game comes down to the wire, and I think the winner of this game may be at AT&T Stadium. I think May gets the win. But those are far from the only big games in the area round of the Texas High School football playoffs. And oh yeah, did I mention that all my picks are scrolling at the bottom of the screen? How about that? Let's get to the lightning round. In 6A Division I, I like DeSoto over Rockwall in a wild shootout. Give me Galena Park North Shore to take down Clear Springs. And Lake Travis beats San Antonio East Central. 6A Division II now, I like Denton Guyer over Dallas Jesuit. And in a game that may determine the favorite in Region 2, I like Rockwall Heath over Temple. In Houston, I like C.E. King over Shadow Creek. And in an interesting Austin versus San Antonio cross regional matchup, I like Austin Vandergrift in a very close one over Cibolo Steel. 5A Division I now, I like Colleyville Heritage over Amarillo, and in a top 5 matchup in 5A Division I like College Station to beat Frisco Lone Star. I like Gregory Portland over San Antonio Southwest Legacy, and what could be a wild shootout, I like Manville over Pflugerville Weiss. 5A Division II now, I like Wichita Falls Ryder over El Paso Andrus. Give me Leander Rouse to take down Floresville, and Aledo gets a scare, but they beat Frisco Liberty. 4A Division I now, I like El Paso Riverside over Lake Worth. Give me El Campo over Lindale in a game you can watch on Texan Live. And I like Melissa over Midlothian Heritage. 4A Division II now, I like Van over Sunnyvale, and give me Aubrey to get by Sweetwater. West Orange Stark takes down Jasper, and Cuero sneaks by Rockport Fulton. 3A Division I now, I like Bushland over Whitesboro, and I'm going to take Grandview in a close one over Gladewater. Edna takes down Blanco, and Lorena beats Woodville. 3A Division II now, Canadian stays hot with a win over Sonora. I'm going with Newton to take down DeKalb, and I like Franklin to beat Stockdale. 2A Division I now, I'm going to go with Toller to beat Cupper. Give me Timpson to stay perfect with a win over Thorndale, and Shiner takes down Three Rivers. 2A Division II, I like Windthorst over Archer City, and Clarendon gets by Wink. I'm going with El Dorado over Dehanus, and I like Mart to beat Lovelady. And it is a massive week in six-man football. 1A Division I, I like Westbrook to take down Rankin. In 1A Division II, I'm going with Motley County over defending state champ Balmorhea. I like Follett to take down Anton. And I'm going to go with Strawn to take down Throckmorton. And those are the picks. I picked every single game. I either mention it out loud or it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen so you can let me know what am I wrong about. Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and of course see us at texasfootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of the 2021 Texas High School Football Playoffs at texasfootball.com/playoffs. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the area round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. We'll see you.